to Ian Tree for Ben Keogh. Welcome back to the Runs podcast. All right, Nick, how's it going?
Yes, mate, all good. Caught you a disease from yesterday, but yeah, not bad and otherwise.
But I am being so bad all weekend. We picked the wrong weekend to have two events that I had to go to because I've had the worst chest. And it's turned into a cold now as well, but I think I'm through the worst of it. But this weekend was an absolute show. But it was done. Nice weekend, wasn't it? Good weekend for the pod.
It was a good weekend, yeah, good social both days. You know, you gritted your teeth, got it done. As you said, anything for the pod, you die for the pod.
That's a real cough. Yeah, happy birthday, My Stake Park Run. We were at My Stake Park Run on Saturday morning. The worst thing about this week is we knew we had both these events coming up on the weekend, and the weather app was playing fuck all week when it was like, you're not going to tell you. It was different all the time. But I don't think I got a drop of rain on me the entire weekend. My Stake Park Run was humid, wasn't it? It was horrible.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. It looked like it was going to rain, but it didn't. But yeah, it was real humid. It was horrible. Boiling.
It was. Thank you for previous guest Carly Cole and her cronies from Park Brimbach making the way down.
Cronies, I don't know. They're friends of the pod, not cronies, are they?
Cronies is a positive word, isn't it?
I don't know. It doesn't sound positive.
No, they were really nice. I really enjoyed their company, actually. And they come down to the Spoons as well.
Sound good group.
Yeah. And Steve rode his bike down as well.
Yeah,
man.
What did he? He left like Stephen one. He left at like 5 in the morning. Fair play, like 3-hour ride over.
He did, yeah. He did a hell of a trek over on the bike. Fair play, and a pretty sharp 5K as well followed it, didn't it?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he was on form. He's
good.
Speaking to him after, he's Ironman training, isn't he?
Yep. So another one for the tracker.
Yeah.
This. Not long now. I was on Facebook. I was on Instagram earlier, actually. 2 months today, innit?
2 months, yeah. 2 months. Mad, innit?
Yeah. Boys, you can start tapering now.
Not quite.
This is when I would taper if I was doing Ironman.
Yeah, just I'll do stop.
But no, thank you very much, Park Brimbach. We will be back over. We're coming over to you on the first weekend of August to do your park run. See if we can bring a couple with us as well. That would be great. So thank you very much for that. And then I went home and died all day after that. I literally came home, watched Diamond League. Amy went out, so I dropped her into town. And then I went to bed and I watched 2 films. And went to sleep and just sweat my head off. It was disgusting.
Yeah. Diamond League was good. Good fixture in London. Seen some good good performances.
I just love Femball's voice.
Femcabal's voice.
Yeah. I love her. She's just so cute, and she's just flying.
Yeah, she's an absolute machine and just doesn't sound like it sounds like a cool child. Yeah.
Beasts. Noah Lyles in the 100, fantastic with that. I forget the names, don't I? Inchcliffe, innit? The boy, the British boy that's coached by Carl Lewis. He could be doing big things in the future as well if he carries on, only 22. Keeley.
Yeah, the 800 girls, the 3 of them. Well, and even Laura Moore further back. They all smashed it.
I only found out about Georgia Bell's story last night. I'm rooting for her to win gold. I know she's not going to beat Keeley, but what a mad journey she's had. I only read about it last night.
Well, yeah, she was obviously triathlete for a bit, wasn't it? And then sort of was going to give up and then come back and, smashing it.
Yeah, she went to uni and that. She was born in Paris as well. That's a fun little story, little caveat for the Olympics, isn't it?
I didn't know that.
She went, and she done a degree over in England somewhere. Then she went and done a scholarship for her masters in America, and then stopped running, stopped track. Yeah. Worked in data and IT sales for ages, and then got the bug back. Done a couple of park runs, and now she's going to the Olympics. So
now she's crazy, and she's on fire as well. In fairness, she's running real well.
Yeah, Keely's just tough to beat, isn't she?
Yeah, but George Bell's doing 1500, isn't she? She's not doing the 8.
Oh, is it another Bell then?
Yeah.
She's in
Forgot
800.
her name. Yeah, there's another Bell. They're not related either.
No, I was going to say Alexander then, but he invented the telephone, didn't he?
That was Alexander Graham Bell, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Diamond League was good. I dropped my pen. I watched Gladiator, then I watched Air as well. I like both of them.
Good films.
Yeah.
You're getting early prepping for Gladiator 2, you remembering what happened.
That's what I thought. And so I was just trying to figure out what happens in the next Gladiator, but you can't really tell. It's just going to be a new story about Lucius, isn't it? Because Russell Crowe, I don't want to get any spoilers of Gladiator 1, but Russell Crowe dies at the end and nothing really happens in it. So, and the Emperor's dead, so he probably just goes and lives with his mother, doesn't he? Perhaps have a reign of terror or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's Saturday.
That's Saturday, nice roundup of old films.
Yeah. Sunday, remember the other day I said, like, there's something on my calendar that's called BP and I couldn't figure it out for the life of me. Do you remember?
BP?
Yeah. And I just sat down. I know, I just sat down there and looked at it and I went, what is that BP? Why? And then I looked at it and it's on the 21st and I was like, that's gone. And I was like, that's Sunday. Oh, that was a Blue Pool.
Blue Pool.
Oh, that was, oh my God, that was the trenches. Again, thanks to Arwell for trusting us to do something together and putting it, well, you put the route together because I haven't been up there for ages. But I don't know, that wasn't an up, down, down. That was like up, down, down. It was hard, wasn't it? But I really enjoyed it too.
Yeah, it was a great route. Great little 11k loop. Like I say, a bit of everything. Through the forestry, down to the Blue Pool, up and around there. Going through some jungle, because one bit was a bit overgrown that I obviously didn't account for, because I haven't been there for a while myself, and it's summer, and so obviously everything is going to be grown. And then back out.
I needed that. That was my favourite part.
Because we had to walk through, like, narrow ferns and clamber over into trees.
Catch my breath. But then you come out of that, and that was up for a very long time, I was.
Yeah, it's probably about a mile or more. Well, probably more than that. Probably like 2 miles, and it climb back out to the top of the golf course. Yeah,
but what a class thing We Run Wales have got going on. I didn't have many expectations or anything, but fair play. There's about 30 of us, and it was really friendly.
It was a good turnout.
So if you ever get a chance,
you will get along to one of them.
Yeah, if you get a chance to jump on, they're free to go to. Just give them a follow. You buy a ticket so they can manage health and safety. And it's a nice little loop and then plenty of time to stop and catch up. So you don't have to worry. Like Ben Keogh worried for the entire week that you were going to be lost in the forest and left behind because everyone else was faster. Plenty of time to regroup, catch back up and then crack on again. And then cake, coffee or a pint, depending on what's around at the end of it, really, innit? What else? What's going on? I haven't got anything now. Nothing really until Cardiff off. But what have you got coming up now?
There is Safa Wednesday, but I'm not doing the last in the series because I've got Mega 10k on the Saturday. Because it's Saturday, I don't want to really go and race a 5k Wednesday, so I'm going to give it a miss this one. But I'm sure all the boys will be down there again, going for it. And then I've got, Mega 10k on Saturday, so that should be good. Another fast, flat course. See what we got. See if I can get another 10k PB so soon after Puthcall. Have a go.
How do you feel?
Yeah. Obviously, I got a bit of a cold, but I'm feeling fine. Yeah, legs weren't great Saturday. Done a bit of a session with Steve before we come up the park run. The legs weren't great, but can't always be clean every session. But yeah, I've recovered well from Puthcall and all. So have a go on it. Got nothing to lose now. I've already got banked that PB in Puthcall, so I can just go for it now. If it falls off, it falls off. The wheels fall off, they fall off. Don't matter.
Yeah. You got time to put them back on, haven't you? You haven't got time. Yeah, what do you have, haven't you? You still got 2 months really, innit?
It's still 11 weeks, so there's plenty of time. That's why now this week, still focus on that 10k with the training. Probably do a session tomorrow and not mad miles, but stay around that 50 mark, and then from Sunday I'll be ramping it up. And yeah,
There we are. Happy days. Good news. Good news. Any other business? I had quite a lot of DMs explaining to me why it is important to have things drawn on top of coffee.
you did the news, say it.
Yeah. So it's all part of the experience, apparently. And Toby Kearns sent me a message about the it's to do with the balance of milk to coffee ratio or something along those lines. I read it, I got confused, and I sent a thumbs up.
You got confused. Well, we'd need a barista to come and tell us, won't we, if that's true?
Yeah. Any running baristas out there? That would be a good shout. Come on.
Thing was, for a bit, when he went on, he was a bit of a coffee barista for a while, wasn't he?
He was. Georgie thinks he is, but I'm not having George. Georgie's used up all his tickets this year.
Yeah.
He ditched last weekend down at man. He didn't show up, and he said he was going to, so he's in the bad books.
Yeah, he'll have to back burner for a bit, George. Give people a break from you.
No, I've got plenty of time for Ryan George. Lovely boy. That's about it, really. We've got a busy couple of weeks coming up now as well. All will be revealed. But before then, speaking of important trades, we've got professions and trades. Today's guest, Juggles, is running with a very important profession as well. This week we've got, I'm not sure if he's a doctor or trainee doctor. We have to find out more about this. I'm pretty sure it's trainee, the amount of fun all his friends make of him. But we've got James Heneghan on this week to talk all things running, and we're going to talk about the Tonypandy Track Classic as well. Shall we get James on?
Yeah, let's get him on and dig into that track event more. Let's get some more info on that for people and try and get more people signed up.
Welcome back. We have got James Heneghan with us. James, how's it going? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you guys?
Good, thanks, Matt. Thanks for coming on.
It's all right. Looking forward to it.
You were requested a while back, I think. So it's nice to get you on. What have we been doing today?
I just working, little run, nothing special.
Yeah, cool. We'll get on to what you do for work and stuff like that. But as usual, we just flash all the way back to school. So, where did you go to school? Where are you from? Where are you from? Who are you?
So I was born in Winchester. I'm obviously the most passionate Welshman there is now, but before I might have been under the rose instead. So I just kind of played a lot of sport, did a bit of hockey, football, running, cross country, kind of same old. I think quite similar to Jake's, just play everything. And then, eventually you kind of just peel them off one by one and just stick with one sport. And then, running was the one that stuck.
No hockey?
That's what he was better at.
I was probably almost better at hockey, but I don't know. Running, I quite like that you can just sort of graft out on your own. Team sports are a bit frustrating when someone's not pulling their weight a bit.
Yeah, when you're relying on others.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been the relied upon that lets you down, so I know how you feel. So that was school, and then just been running ever since, and just love running.
Yeah. I mean, I've done sort of all sorts of like competitions. So, I mean, in school, obviously, it starts with a bit of cross country, and then you do a bit of track running. I think when I was like 16, I did a 10K, which looking back at was probably a bit stupid. And convinced myself between 16 and 18 I was like a 10K runner, and then came to uni, trained with Thee. That's when I realised I was probably a bit better at the shorter stuff, but just been training wrong. But it's great. That's a nice thing with running. So many different events, so many different like terrains. They've all got their own like little sort of aspect to training and different people involved. So you just kind of enjoy the sport as a whole and then find out what you're good at later on.
Yeah, definitely. So, when you're in school and you're doing this cross country and a little bit of track events as well, are you winning them in school as well then, or?
I mean, so my county was Hamphshire, and I think for perspective of like what the nice thing with running is in my county when we used to go to English schools, on my team was Mohammed, who's going to the Olympics, Zach Mohammed, who's just run like, I don't even know what he ran, 13:20, I think, something crazy.
Yeah.
And then we had like these two Aldershot boys, one of whom was like bronze at UK level when he was 12. So like I was like, if I made the county team, that was a great result. And that kind of just gives you something to look up to. Is you're like, I'm actually getting whooped, but like if you make it into the team, you know you're running all right.
Yeah, that's some standard to be amongst.
Yeah, like local park run one day was like the two of them turned up, and you just get like a minute and a half put into you, and you're like, what is going on here? This park run.
Park run.
Yeah.
Park race, man. Park race.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy, isn't it? And like I said, so much is mad dependent on geography and stuff like that, because our park run, what got one, like how many guests in your local park run, how much would be there?
In like back in like Winchester and Eastleigh, there'd only be like sort of 300 or so, but like you just get every now and then this like week where there'd be no races on and everyone would just turn up. It'd just be an absolute fight. So it'd be like you'd have your local Hampshire cross country league, and then randomly a couple of times a year it'd be like the same level for a park run.
Brilliant.
That is wild, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's the same in Cardiff sometimes, isn't it? Like I don't know like I've seen Jake and all there sometimes like going sub 14 and things, and it's mental.
Yeah.
There we went sub. What did there we go down Swansea not long after or just before he had the Olympic attempt, wasn't it?
Yeah, he does it a bit, doesn't he, now and again? There's a tune-up, yeah.
To be honest, it's probably a little like controversial, but I say like parkrun's not as good now for like people towards the front. It's fantastic in what it does, and in terms of the inclusivity and getting people running. But sometimes there is a little bit of like where there's just so many people doing it, it feels like it doesn't cater as well towards faster runners. When in reality, I think it should just be seen as a great thing when someone does go down and absolutely smash a course record. Should be like, look how good this local athlete is.
Definitely, I agree with that. Like I didn't like it when they changed all the like no times, no course records. I think that's a bit, like I say, it's a bit disappointing for people like who want to turn up and run fast. It's like, what's the difference in catering from them as you're catering for everyone else? It should be there for everyone. So it is a shame, man.
It is, and from the other side of the shoe on the other foot, I'm always at the back end or wherever. Nicky lapped me on the weekend, and I love it. You just love seeing people going real fast as well. And I don't know if inspiring is a wrong word for me, but it's just nice to see people going flat out as well and enjoying the same thing, just doing it different, isn't it?
Well, that's like, particularly in South Wales, like our running community is fantastic. It's such a nice community to be a part of. I'm sure we'll get onto it in a bit, that there's some good track races coming up that should be able to include all levels. But like that is something that's really unique to sort of around here, is that you get all sorts of abilities and yet everyone gets on. There's no real elitism at all. Everyone will have a natter with each other. It's just great to see. Yeah,
I've always said like how, and arrogance not the word, innit, but the opposite of that, how welcoming and how genuine that the community is. Like even if you're on your third lap of park run and the winner's just going back to the car or whatever, and they say, go on, carry on. It's not condescending or anything. You can feel that it's genuine as well, and they just want you to finish your race as well.
Yeah.
Good. So, school, you finished school and then went off to university. How old are you, James?
Oh, I'm getting old now. I'm 25.
Oh,
yeah. So you went off to uni straight from school, or are you a traveller or gapper?
So we did that. I did like college, and then the plan was to be a physio, and I worked in a physio clinic alongside college. And basically, the physios kind of convinced me I was more interested in medicine instead. So luckily, I wanted to come to Cardiff for physio, and then when I applied to medicine instead, it was still a great uni, and it was the city was sort of the draw. So I just basically just moved my application over, and went for the same strategy.
So you're in Cardiff, still in uni?
No, I finished now. So I did 6 years there. So it was good.
Like the Van Wilder of running.
That's gone over my head, that one. I didn't even know the reference.
I can't believe I'm quoting films that you're too young to remember, and it's only Van Wilder. Wow. Anyway, I'm not even cutting that bit out. So tell us about running in uni. I have to speak really fast now in case I freeze. So you ran in uni, started taking it a bit more serious then?
Yeah, so when I was back in Winchester, I had a couple of really good coaches, and one of them put me in contact with James Lee before I came. So I already knew that I was coming to a good group. But back it's only like 6-7 years ago. It was very much like Cardiff Met with a running uni and Cardiff Uni with the academic uni. So I was one of not a lot at all from Cardiff Uni to be training with the Cardiff Met group. But again, James, he was so welcoming, always loved having me there. And just throughout the first year, probably trained pretty terribly looking back at it. Was training like sort of classic, came to uni, started running much too hard, much too far, got ill really often, and had a few good races in that first year. Quite a lot of terrible races. But I think that's good. Like, you need that time away from home to sort of settle in. You try some new training, you try a few different things. And then, by the end of the first year, I was just fully coached by James Lee. And the nice thing with university athletics, you got Bucks, which is the big event. So I started getting involved in that, did a bit of Bucks cross country. Then over the next few years, just slowly improved. Just always with James Lee and the ever-changing group. So, it's good.
Yeah, he's got quite a stable now, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he had one way before us. So I don't know if Jake mentioned it when he came on, but one of our first sessions was around Heath Park, and Jake and I were a bit sort of clueless from small towns where you're kind of used to being a better runner. And it was looking back, it was Ian Thomas, Tom Marshall and Jake Haywood, who are pretty good athletes. And it was maybe a fartlek, and I think I managed a third of it, having just gone with them as long as I could. And Jake managed something silly like 3/4 of it. But the group then, it was spectacular even back then. Just probably didn't have quite the depth that it does now. And it's just each year it's changed a bit, but kind of ethos stays the same, where it's if you're in Cardiff, you want to train hard, you're willing to sort of mix and match a little bit, just hop in. We're more than happy to have anyone, really.
Yeah, it's nice to you, because we try and make sure this podcast is for all abilities, and like you said about the running community. But it's nice to hear that as well when you think, I go back to Nicky lapping me on the weekend. But it's nice to know that James Heneghan had to drop out of a fartlek after a third of it as well, because he was struggling.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, even worse, I'm sure Thee pulled me out of it and said you're not allowed to do any more. You're just literally smashing yourself. And you're like, who are these guys who are just running so easily?
Yeah.
And then a couple of years later, you look back at what they've achieved and you're like, they're pretty good.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. And then you take your role as a punisher for the new guys as well.
Yeah. I mean, it varies on what the session is these days. I used to love a bit of the speed work, but we've got Ben Claridge in the group now, who's run a phenomenal 400 meters. Piers Copeland, everyone knows his speed, even though he's not part of our group. So, and then with the longer distance stuff, we've got Jake. So I sort of end up in this middle zone where I just get in trouble no matter what session we do.
Yeah. It's so nice to because Jake, you could just see with Jake that he just is busting for the banter all the time, and he's looking for that challenges him and raises him as well. So it's nice to see, to meet other people from the group as well, because you can see immediately they all are challenging each other as well, and seems like a good laugh with top. What's the word I'm looking for? Top 1% outcomes you're looking for as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what are you now in? Have you got a distance? What's your situation now? What are you a runner of?
Oh, sorry, it cut out a little bit. What was that?
What's your preferred distance?
Oh, so I gave myself this year as a free pass. with like finally being out of uni. So I said the only aim for this year was to not get severely injured. Like that was a success back in August. And then I've actually been running okay. Very up and down. Some days I'm pretty terrible. But it's given me a lot of freedom to enjoy some events. I mean, I'm someone who loves events like Welsh Castles. So because I wasn't doing my normal track season, I got to go and do one of the mountain stages, and that went better than I thought. I've done the short course cross country at Liverpool 1 year, which I won, which was a fantastic experience. I wasn't expecting that because it was on the grass, and I thought, I'm not very good on the grass. And then I've also won a couple of Bucks titles on the track. So sometimes I feel a bit of what's it called, jack of all trades, master of none. But I'd say the mile, and then probably in the next few years, the 5K, they're my main distances.
Yeah. Do you feel there's like a bit more added pressure? Not pressure, but it's a change now that you've finished uni and you're going into full-time employment. You've got to get the balance a bit better.
Yeah, I mean, you say about pressure. I'd actually say that the pressure is completely off this year. When I was in university, Bucks was the big aim, but obviously I was in university a lot longer than other people. So when you're 23 in Bucks, you're like, if I'm going along, I kind of need to be doing all right, or I'm taking the spot off like some junior who really is going to benefit from this the next few years. But yeah, the balance of work, I think it's been so much harder than I knew it would be tough, but just not having the half terms here or there, or your weeks of not really doing anything. And when all of a sudden you're trying to plan training, but your easy week is actually because your work week is really busy, it just smashes you, and you end up feeling fatigued all the time. And I think that's taken me months and months to actually get my head around, like, when you want to recover while you're working, you just got to back it off so much more.
Yeah, because it's like obviously your working day is taking it up to you as well, and it's not just, I'm not saying you need, but you've got more free time, I suppose. Like say half term, longer term times where you can get into good blocks, whereas work is every day in this, and every day grind mentally and physically. Yeah,
exactly, and it's exactly what you say. It is like a grind mentally and physically, and also you don't know what day is going to be bad. And it's the same in every career. That's what I've realised is, like, you think, someone's doing 9 to 5 or whatever. You just don't know what day it is that you're going to be working till 7. Like, it's just go with the flow, roll with the punches a little bit, and hopefully you get lunch at a reasonable time.
Does your sort of training week then revolve around your work weeks go in? Do you flexible with that, or is it pretty rigid?
Yeah, so that's the other thing, is when I came to uni, I was probably a bit too enthusiastic at trying to train at a good level. I was far too rigid, far too worried about the specifics. Just the older I've got, the more I've realised, like, you have to vary it around.
Yeah.
And you can see that, like, throughout loads of different athletes you look at in Cardiff. Like, there's such high-level athletes with such varied jobs. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys are good mates with Butler, aren't you?
Yeah, good mates with John.
Me and him I'm always taking the mick out of him, saying that we're the working men of the group. But he's obviously got kids now. Like, it's even harder to balance it around.
Exactly,
like,
you've got 2 young kids, like, as well.
Yeah, like that. I cannot relate to that, and for a good thing. Like, I do not want to.
Not yet.
No, definitely not.
And again, if we need to fall back, you go back to the team sports, and we spoke about it quite a lot recently with different guests, is you've got the structure of, right, you've got to train Tuesday, you've got to train Thursday, you've got to play Saturday. So running, and like I said, we do a bit with endurance athletes as well, and the triathletes. It fits around your life a lot easier as well. And what do we had Craig Johnson last week from Mumbles, from Swansea Harriers. And he's a teacher, so he'll say now he'll train for Ironman like a pro for 6 weeks because he's got that 6 weeks off. But like you said, you haven't got that half terms anymore, so it's got to fit around everything perfectly then, hasn't it?
Yeah. Well, no, I listened to that this morning, so I thought I'd sneak see if there was any heads up for this week. Heard about his footballing days. Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like, running is, I mean, I think it's why you're seeing such a boom in, like, it's a cringy term, but runfluencers and this whole, like, phase people say about you hit your 30s and you want to take up running. But like, you guys are exactly right. It's because it's one of the easiest endurance sports to do. Like, we talk about you got carbon shoes and all of the specifics and stuff. Realistically, you got a pair of shoes and you got a pair of shorts and you're good to go. Like, and that is the beauty of it. Like, even this morning, I had to run before work, but I literally only woke up 40 minutes before I would anyway, because you just roll out of bed, drink some water, and just get on with it. Like, and if it's a rubbish run, fine. Like, sometimes it's just about getting in those easy miles.
Yeah, it is. It's so easy. That's what I say. That's why I think it's just booming as well, because anyone can do it, any level, and like I say, just all it needs a pair of trainers, really, and off you go.
Yeah, and you must have. Well, I don't know how you trained for your marathons. Was that around work?
Yeah, I just got to get on with it. Work, because I work with my job now. I work away a lot as well on cruise ships doing repairs, so that can be a nightmare on times. I end up doing like hours on a treadmill or hours of loops around the top deck, and like you just got to get it done. When I'm training for a marathon, if I want the outcome, I've got to get it done no matter what. Yeah.
Get the miles. And same, like, I was listening about Gareth's 10Ks at the moment. Like, I know you're a bit more varied on how much you run, and sometimes more than others.
Very rare.
But what I'm saying is, like, it's the same for everyone in it. Once you're like past like 23, 24, you've got the reality of like, where do I want to put this in the day? And at the end of the day, if you work stupid hours, you can run at stupid hours. It's not too bad.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you can fit it in wherever and with whatever on as well. Because I was looking upstairs the other day, and I've got 2 pairs of Nike Garachis that I wear with jeans, but they were made for running way before carbon print. They were designed for running originally as well. The roads haven't changed, so they must be fine to take out for a run.
As well. Yeah, I mean, Bannister was running in plimsolls. He smacks and nails through. Like, I reckon we can still do that.
Yeah. I might just bin all my running shoes and just start running in Ratchis just to look even cooler. Cool. So, right, you said medicine, James. So what exactly... I don't even know how to approach the field, but what do you do now?
So, my mates say the mick out of me for mentioning this, but I think the term's changed now from junior doctor to resident doctor. But basically, I'm in that like early years of being a doctor where you rotate through different specialities. Is the easiest way to sum it up.
How's that going? You enjoying?
I mean, it's an interesting time to be in the NHS. It's good in some ways. Like, there are bits of the profession that are lovely, and there are also a lot of downsides to it. Right now I'm in the Gwent Hospital, which is particularly interesting. It's a bit more of a sort of care of the elderly type role, and a bit more of your people that stay in hospital a bit longer, and that is less what I'm interested in. I'm a bit more interested in a bit of excitement. But again, you're learning all the time, and like, no matter where you work, you're going to have all sorts of complex patients that have their own like issues you've got to sort. So it is an important part of the training.
Yeah, no, definitely. And you might have not, at the same time, you might have thought, I don't want to do that. And then you go and do it for a little stint on a placement. And it's like, actually, it's not what I thought it was. And you might change lanes as well. But who knows, isn't it?
Yeah.
Happy days. That's cool. What else do we need to speak about? So you're an accomplished runner, and I know you keep up and down to show us your Say Sky top. What's the situation with Say Sky? I only come across Say Sky a couple of months ago. They're really cool. I wish they would sponsor me. Can you speak to them? No. How do these deals come around?
Well, classic sort of South Wales link in one way. So the first time I came across them, I did an 800 metre race in Crawley and I won it. The prize was a bit of a gift voucher for them. I got a bit of kit, and I emailed them afterwards, a bit cheekily, saying, I've got this race coming up, the Newport 10K. And I might have made it out like it's a bit of a big deal. But I was like, do you want to send me some more kit and I'll race in your kit? So they sent me a kit specifically for Newport. And obviously I was more of a miler, so it shouldn't have really gone that well. But I came second in 29.54. and that sort of piqued their interest. So I think that was 2021, probably, maybe 2020. And I've been with them since. They're a great brand. They support me with kit. It's not like a financial sponsor, but that's been the deal throughout. And it's great because, like, particularly now with the Super Shoe game, I can wear whatever I want. So, yeah.
Nice.
They've got some really nice loud gear as well, haven't they?
Yeah, they do love a bit of a flower. I'm pretty sure I've got something with some flowers on and parrots. I mean, probably things that go quite well in your coffee designs, actually. But
we don't want to talk about coffee, but we spoke about coffee briefly. It leads us on to Tonypandy quite nicely as well, because I'll try a Hardlines when we're down for that evening.
Yeah.
But I will try some Hardlines coffee, because you said if I haven't tried that, I don't know anything about coffee, right?
Yeah, Hardline. I mean, if you go around Pontcanna, pretty much all of the cafes are serving Hardlines now. They're a great group of guys. I actually met Steve through Say Sky, so they were doing a collaboration with Say Sky.
Yeah.
I can't even remember when, 2022 maybe. We did a little photo shoot up Heneghan. And then we did a run club. It was a lot of CDF runners were there, good mix of people. And I mean, I feel like Hardlines are a massive part of Cardiff's running community now.
I only become aware of him. Adam Bull had a Hardlines t-shirt on, didn't he, when he came on the podcast? And I said, what's that t-shirt? And he said Hardline. And they got a nice logo. So they would be my coffee of choice if it was going for branding.
Yeah, there you go.
Right, that leads us on to Tonypandy Track Classic.
He loves an advert, don't know. He loves to try and get in there good books.
There you go. When you boys meet Coffee Club, you've got to take him some Hardlines.
Hardlines coffee. Yeah. This week's episode was brought on.
He's gone again.
Gone again. You need to sort that Wi-Fi out.
I need to move house again.
Oh, he's back.
You do need to move house again.
I know. But it does lead us on nicely to Tonypandy Track Classic. We've spoke about Welsh Castles Relay, road running. We've got Cardiff Half Marathon. But you guys are bringing us Wales something they haven't had before, right? And tell everyone a little bit more about Tonypandy.
Yeah. I mean, so Tonypandy was made in like 2020. I can't remember if it was created just before COVID and then COVID stopped it being open, or if COVID hit and then afterwards it was finished. But we heard about this track. I mean, James C with his contacts just found out about it. Heard it was like some new track, could be worth exploring. And we went up there in the summer of 2020, and instantly we were like, this track is kind of the middle of nowhere. It's classic. It's up a Welsh Valley. There's just trees all around it. Stunning location. And we just very quickly started to love it. And Jake was in pretty good shape back then. So we did this time trial for him. I think I was pacing the 800 meters on and off. My housemate John was also doing the same. And he ran 28 flat on this track. And it was the fastest time by a British athlete by something stupid in 2020. I think like 40 seconds.
Well,
and obviously it didn't count. And it's still quicker than his PB.
Well.
Which we always give him a bit of stick about. And then also that summer we did a kilometre time trial. I ran like 2:25, Piers ran 2:19, I think. So we've said ever since then, like, there's got to be an event put on this track because it's such an iconic location. The community there is fantastic. It fits in with what I said earlier. You'll literally have kids cycling on the track and like literally Commonwealth athletes on it at the same time. And actually there's way less drama than there ever is at like a big club session because it's so like you just get on with it and enjoy it. So C particularly has had the idea of we need a race at this track. And as you said, I mean, I'm a massive fan of events like Welsh Castles. The atmosphere we bring with the community feel, it's just, it really is high level. The only events really that bring a better atmosphere, and now you're on track nights, that kind of thing, where they're going massive. And we just decided this year was the year to finally just put the event on for the first time, get it rolling, and then build the next few years. So it's it should be good fun. Yeah. What more do you want to know about it?
It's looking good, isn't it? Obviously, how's the sign-ups going? Is it coming along good? Is it filling up,
Yeah.
how many races, etc. Who's going to be there to get people to come along and watch, support, or get them running?
Yeah, so obviously we had a bit of a head start because a lot of it is the training group. We got Piers is very interested in having a crack at that Welsh kilometre record. Whenever you can line up Jake Smith to enter a race, you know people are going to be interested because that's a free pacemaker right there. And then we've got like quite a few other guys who are sort of, some are maybe, some are definite. Clara Evans possibly doing it, and obviously that's a nice race with Paul Graham. I think it's 3 days before their wedding, so that'll be a good one. Maybe we'll stick them in together. Jenny Nesbitt might be doing it, and yeah, we've got a few other. It's just a massive list at this point. The men's 5K is really building quite nicely, I think, because people have seen Jake's doing it.
Yeah.
And then we're just sort of building from there. We're trying to push the women's 5K a bit. So we've got Ellie Wallace. She's run some quick times. I've already said Clara. And yeah, I think at the moment, the women's K, we need to get a few more entries in. Just get them confirmed. But the whole idea is basically that we have these series of 5K races, like you've seen. You know, I did the Fast 5000.
Yeah.
Get a load of them on, and then because the start-finish equipment will be sort of halfway around the curve, keep it there, stick on some kilometre races, go for some fast times, and yeah, have a good night.
Awesome. Yeah, and hopefully the weather will hold out because it's shite at the minute, and hopefully we get a good sunny night and we get a good crowd there as well to support and get some people go in and get a bit of atmosphere.
Well, that's the other thing. The one snagging point we had early on in organisation is James C being as busy as he is. He's off in San Moritz at the moment, and then he'll be tripping over to Paris to help the team out.
Yeah.
And then we said we got that wedding 3 days later, so there's literally the only date we could do was that Wednesday, but it's early August. The weather should be good. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Night racing as well, isn't it? There's something about it, isn't it? It's a bit cooler.
Yeah.
Weather-wise.
Yeah, exactly. And hopefully there shouldn't be too much of a breeze. That's the only thing. Where the trees are, you get good cover one side and less the other. So if you get it on a really good day, you can get a tailwind one side and no headwind the other. That's the hope.
That's the hope. And then obviously this is open to anyone as well, isn't it, James? You know, any sort of, what's the time sort of levels you're looking for people to get?
So we've put a cut-off at 21 minutes for 5K, and that's more because it's an evening. We just don't have unlimited time. One of our plans was to put a community 5K on, where you could just have people run their own 12.5 laps. Yeah. And I think the idea is get it going this year. Yeah, but the next few years we want to keep the community feel, and then if we can get it on a Saturday, then we can have more and more races. And the other slight kicker is because it's got a permit on it, you've got to follow the World Athletics rules, which means shoes less than, I think it's 25 millimeters. So hopefully next year we'll be able to loosen that off a little bit and build.
Yeah, awesome. Hopefully it, like I say, this gets good attention and then it grows and you can get it going more. That'll be class. That would talk. Like I say, a community race or something at the end would be brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then put it in bed with Castles and Cardiff off, and we're just one good marathon away from having a full deck in Wales, right?
Yeah, well, you've already got Newport.
Yeah. They can't measure it right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, balls that up this year. Changed the course and then messed it up.
Right. Before we get on to this or that and our question and answer, we can't let you go without finding more about James Heneghan versus Jay Smith. What is the beef? What is the current score? Tell us more about you two.
I mean, so Jake and I lived together. We had a house of me, Jake, Piers, Kieran Lewis, who's also local runner who runs well. John Howard. We had a load of us, and I think one time we were going back through Power of 10 as you do a head-to-head. We found out, I think it was 2015 English schools. Jake Smith beat me by no seconds, and we had a photo finish on a cross country. And then we went back through it, and we found the video. And at the top of the hill with 300 meters to go, I was 7 seconds behind him. So, but I still didn't beat him. So, and then obviously, because I'll venture up in distance, I've raced Jake quite a lot over his terrain. So we've raced a lot over cross country. He's beaten me a lot. We've raced technical on the roads quite a few times. And I've always said to him that one day I was finally going to get him. And I finally got my one win at Bristol this year. But I think that says a lot about Jake. He's a very tenacious runner. He's not really scared of anyone. Yeah, it's just good fun, really. I mean, the guy's literally like, wasn't he trying to take on Bakili at a big half one year, like running there? Yeah, he's been playing. Yeah. So even if you think, I might be able to sit on him and out sprint him, you still got to be there with 400 meters to go. It's quite tough.
Yeah. And if you're stepping up to more of his distances, you need to get him down to the shorter stuff.
Yeah, that's the excuses I'll put in anyway.
Yeah. You were far behind him in Paris the other week, were you?
No, I was miles back as well with a K to go. So my last 800 was, I think, like 2:02 or something to his, like, I think it was 2:10, 2:12. So I was
watching it out the kitchen on my phone. It was on halftime in the football, wasn't it? Yeah. And I was like, this guy's coming on the podcast in a couple of weeks. He better get faster. But yeah, he pulled it around.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing with these events that are now going on, where they're like, people put it's almost like the road season in that, like, people target a 5K or a 10K now, but they do it on track instead of running your traditional track season. So you turn up at these events and people go off at crazy paces that you just think, like, if this was any normal track race, you wouldn't try. So I'm pretty sure a K into that, I was second last and I finished fifth.
Well,
but it's good. It's all part of racing experience. It's all different. Like, at the end of the day, I've competed at a good level domestically and a few times internationally. And if I want to, be an international 5K athlete or 1500 athlete, at some point I'm going to need to know what it's like to run at that pace throughout. So it gives you good experience to gauge your own race, and it's all good fun.
Yeah. Class. Fantastic. Nick, any other questions before we go to this or that?
No, all good a minute, mate. All good. Yeah. Covered a bit there.
Yeah, definitely. We'll take a quick break and then we'll jump straight back in with this or that and some of the questions from your friends off Instagram. One, two. Welcome back. Let's wrap it up with this or that, Nick, and then some questions from the Instagram community.
Yeah, here we go, James. This or that. Here we go. First one, track or road?
Oh, I'm going track. I enjoy it more. Road events are fantastic, but yeah.
Track, especially with Tonypandy coming up, and you've got track.
Exactly.
Next up, long run or a session?
Oh, session, without a doubt. Speed work. Well, you guys have had a lot of endurance athletes, but I'm talking like 5-400s.
Yeah, you're more of a short game, definitely. A cold pod or the recovery boots?
Whoa. You mean like Normatex type thing?
Yeah, the Normatex.
Yeah, Normatex, but I kind of don't really bother. I'm more hop in a sauna and get on with it.
Are you?
Yeah.
None of them, man. Here we go. Tonypandy or Paris with the Olympics coming up? Where do people need to be?
Oh, it's got to be Tonypandy. I mean, at the end of the day, Paris has got limited capacity. Tonypandy, we could have hundreds of thousands on that bank.
We could, up in those trees, you could put them anywhere.
Yeah, there you go.
And last one for this week, Jake or Paul? That's not Jake Paul, the knobhead. Jake or Paul from Ponty or Running Mates.
Well, the two you've got Mr. Ponty, and then I don't even know what Jake would be at this point. It's just well known. I've known Jake for longer, so I'll give it to him. But I mean, I'd never disrespect my captain. I mean, poor Paul's been trying to get after a Castle's win for years. I'm pretty sure we're going to sign, I don't know, Kipchoge or something next. We're going to win Castles at some point.
Well, yeah, you've been so close. I've known so many times now. It's like just getting over that final hurdle.
Yeah.
How did it? Going back to that just quickly. Was it your first time this year? Or did you run it last year as well?
No, I ran it last year. I did a British Milers Club 1500 in Loughborough Saturday night. I drove home. I had a KFC on the way. And then I woke up at 11. I had some chocolate raisins. I drove to Caerphilly and then I ran 20.
You did the last leg, didn't I? Remember you coming in now, winning it. But,
yeah, well, so I told Thea I just tempo it, I do nothing special, and then I think my heart rate hit 190. I smashed the last 3K as hard as I could.
Oh,
I took a good minute and a half off the course record.
Wow. Yeah, and then you took the course record on 7 this year.
Yeah, this year's much tougher though.
Yeah.
But absolutely stunning.
Yeah, we drove it. Obviously, we've driven it twice now. And when we're coming up, you obviously go the reverse way. And like every time you're going up that bit, you come down. It's like, oh my God, they got to run down this. It's just insane. But yeah, it's stunning. Yeah,
I mean, I think was it Tom Wood I was alongside, and I said 4 miles in, like, boys, look at that view. And afterwards he was like, I loved your mind games. I was just enjoying the run. Yeah, I was literally just like, boys, look over there. Like, where else can you race? Like, there's cars passing you. This is definitely a little bit dangerous. But no, once I got to the top and I could see him, I thought, it's still a good shot. And I think I ran a 2:36 first kilometre down that hill and just got the distance done. So yeah.
Yeah, but it's a great event and I love it. It's like, obviously I'm different level to you guys in Ponty, our team, but just amazing.
Yeah.
Gat, over to you.
I just love it. You're just like being nice and grateful, and they're like, yeah, nice try, mister. You're not going to get me. You're just appreciating a nice day.
Yeah, I literally, like, you look at the scenery we've got locally, it is stunning. Like, whenever you go and race, like, abroad or in London, you're, like, struggling to find running routes. You come here and you've just got, like, literally even, like, 45 minutes where you've got, like, Heneghan if you want to go and run up there, like, and also you've got coastal runs, like, just nearby. It's just great.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, a couple of questions. Where does James see himself in 10 years?
Oh, in 10 years? Jeez. I mean, that's, don't know, 35. I am someone who'll end up.
What do you say now? Because we are 40. I'm the youngest of 40. So
yeah, I'll probably a couple of grey hairs by then. I mean,
5K specialist?
No, I think I will end up doing marathons eventually, but more when I retire.
Everyone ends up there.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think 35 would be about the transition point, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So, yeah, who knows? It depends on the next few years, really, see how it goes. I need to run a bit quicker on the track and see what my potential is there and then go from there.
Yeah. Just running, though? No swim, bike, run?
No, I love a bit of cycling. I'm a terrible swimmer. And I'm sure when I do, like, pack in competitive running, I'll be doing an Ironman. Absolutely. Jake's also said he'll be doing one as well, so we'll just compete over that. But that's far, far in the distance.
Have you been down to Tenby to watch it?
No.
Well, that's what you need to do, because that'll get you gripped. It's an unbelievable day. Unbelievable.
All of them, they just look like such good atmospheres.
Oh, it's brilliant.
It's surreal. Like, it's the best day ever.
It is class.
But don't go yet, because you've got a lot to accomplish in running. I don't want you to sign up to an Ironman too soon.
Yeah.
No, I won't be.
Someone's asked, are you a full-time as a doctor? Which I guess you are. How do you balance and get time off to train and race?
So that would be Tom, probably.
No, Tom was the one previous. This is a genuine question.
Yeah, I am full-time as a doctor. Getting time off to train and race has been interesting. A lot of it is just, you get your annual leave, so you just try and line up events and pick and choose a lot more which ones you're doing. Which is particularly why, like, you know, doing castles was good for me because I didn't have to take any annual leave. It's just a Saturday and it's a bit more low-key. And then I found over the last few years, I get the opportunity to race in some stunning locations. I did Sweden last year. I did Turin in 22. And then obviously, as you start to run faster, you get to go to more interesting places. So just make a holiday out of it. So my girlfriend, Lori, we try and book annual leave at the same time, which is interesting because she's also a doctor. So it's sometimes a bit, maybe we're not going to get this off together. And then we just try and, like, you know, if you're going to Paris, you might as well pop in at the Eiffel Tower, watch the Diamond League, watch a couple of world records, fly home, work on 5 hours sleep, and then crack on. But no, I'm going 80% hours in a couple of weeks, which will be nice. I did med school part time, so I said I do 1 year of doctoring full time and see how tough it is. And I'll tip my hat to anyone who's doing any kind of shift work in any profession. It is brutal.
Yeah. I never worked shifts.
Yeah.
I'm going to do 8 hours, 9 to 5.
Oh, Nicky, have you ever done them?
Well, I sort of, sometimes, like, not regular, but like when I'm away sometimes and the work is night, when you just got a shift on the night. But I've never done it as regular, no. Luckily.
I'm sure you felt it though. It's the bouncing of your schedule going from like a 9 to 5 to then like maybe a like 2 till midnight and then like next week doing night shifts. That's what gets you, is the like flicking through them all.
Lack of consistency, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, we've got a couple more. Would you rather run 3.36 or win castles?
Oh, 336 or castles.
Yeah, sorry.
I mean, I assume we're going for winning castles as a team because I've won my stages twice. So
you could do no more.
Yeah, exactly. There's not a lot more I can do. No. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but 336 would be nice to finally put down a marker over 15. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to play team sports, go back to football, innit? 336. With you.
No, but I'm sure, well, if I run 336, then I'm running a better castles leg anyway, so that's the problem.
Comes on the back.
Exactly.
Right, and it wouldn't be a question answer without a question from Jake Smith. I'm not sure, this might have been up our neck of the woods, but it says, what happened with the Jake Smith versus James Heneghan food battle in the old house? Oh, now it makes sense. This means in your old house. But there's a restaurant by us called the Old House. But now it's your old house where you live. What happened?
So I told Jake I was going to dog him in as much as possible this episode. I really haven't. But I think it was, I can't remember if Piers, I think Piers might have won British Indoors. And he came back, he drove back from Birmingham. He came in, and Jake and I were just in our pyjamas having a full-blown food fight. Just in the kitchen. And Piers just said it just went on for ages, just escalated. But it's uni students being uni students. I'm going to claim that's probably 19-2. I'm pretty sure I beat him in that food fight. Yeah, definitely. That's going down on a score. I mean, we broke the oven, I think, for a bit. Like there's some jam stuck down some glass. It was, well, it's all fun in the end.
Yeah. Pierce has come home with a medal and a new record.
Yeah.
And he's got to clean the kitchen.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll wrap it up with that. What's a typical week look training for you? But again, we've touched on that a lot, I guess. It depends on your shift, and it's quite varied, and you're quite relaxed this year, really, are you? Or am I completely wrong?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I still sort of try and follow the same structure. So these days I try and run on a 2-week schedule because my work just tends to line up better with it. And generally I'm looking at like sort of 5 sessions in that. A couple of them tempo work. One of them something really quite quick if I can like feel up to it. I've stayed away from the speed this year when my legs haven't felt up for it because I'm like, I've got next year to go back to that properly and the injury risk is a bit higher. Then the other 2 will be some in VO2 maxi, so either 400s, hills. I like my high quality work. I'm not a big fan of just jogging all the time. And then I'll double day 3 or 4 times a week. The morning ones will be quite slow, and then evening just see how I feel. And then try and get in the sauna 2 or 3 times a week. No, that's not happening at the moment. A couple of gym sessions, and then It is season. I mean, especially as I do like to race the longer distances, I do have to put in the work doing the like 8-10 mile sessions every now and then. They're pretty rubbish.
Welcome to the world of the working man.
Yeah.
Right, let's wrap it up with our token questions. You're probably at the speed where you don't run when listening to music when you're running, but what song would you listen to running if you had to pick one?
Absolutely wrong. I listen to stuff all the time.
I thought you'd be I thought you'd be Mr. Serious. No music.
Absolutely not. I mean, I've re-listened to many Coffee Club pod episodes. I'm listening to the What's Occurring, Geraint Thomas at the moment. Listen to you boys. Music. To be fair, the one that I've listened to recently after you put it on your story is Toby. It's a very good song. Absolutely love that. But probably my all-time band, it's got to be Arctic Monkeys.
And our last one, somebody who would play James Heneghan in a film of his life.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. That's tough. Probably. I don't think we were
asking this. Were we asking this when we done Jake's episode? I don't think we were we?
No, we weren't. We evolved into this a bit later, didn't we?
Oh yeah. As I said, probably Jake, but no, he's a little bit.
You can
short.
cast Jake as well if you want. Who would play James and Jake in a film of their lives?
Who would play Jake? Yeah, I mean, I'll give Piers the honour of playing me since he's a little bit taller than me, almost as quick as me as well. And then Jake, I didn't even know. I mean, I'd probably say like Rowan Atkinson for Jake, just with how much of his life is just an absolute comedy. Absolute carnage left, right and centre. Being mates with him's interesting.
He's good fun, Jake. I really enjoyed his company, actually. I'm looking forward to catching up with him in Tonypandy as well. Excellent. I really enjoyed that, James. We're looking forward to seeing you in Tonypandy. We have been lucky enough to be... Yeah. We're privileged. Like I said, we've been really lucky with the pod and everything starting up around here. We're looking forward to do some trackside interviews or anything and catch up and get some photos for you guys as well.
Yeah, but, absolutely. That's the main thing with the event is getting guys like yourself, like Hardlines. We've got all of this great community, and we just want everyone involved. And yeah, you guys, you love a chat, so I'm sure we'll get you doing some trackside interviews, and see how much we can get you into lane 3.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Can't wait. Should be good fun.
Definitely. Anything else, Nick?
No, that was good. Really enjoyed that. Again, thanks, James, for your time.
That's all right. Cheers for having me on, guys.
Awesome.
And I guess it's just on you, Nick, to wrap it up.
Yeah, that's it for another week. And episode 26 is gone and done. Thanks to James again. And we will see you all somewhere on the start line soon. Cheers.
Cheers.